Okay, so that's the team, and we talked a little bit about why we picked these 4 topics. And part 1 is engaging your brain. And that's a tough one. If you have your own company, you kind of have to engage your brain, because there's nobody there to engage your brain for you. But if you work for somebody else, you know, sometimes they kind of want you to check your brain at the door. And, you know, that kind of gets to be a problem, because then we get in the habit of checking our brains at the door, and we think that they don't pay us enough to not check our brains at the door. And certainly that culture, I think, has been a problem. And those of us who do work in the consulting or the problem solving area maybe get the opportunity to make the judgment that other people are checking their brains at the door. Of course, we don't do it ourselves, right? If we weren't smart, we wouldn't be here tonight, right? So we don't really need this. We're all here tonight so that we can go back to our workplaces and tell our coworkers what to do better, right? Okay, so how do we learn to engage our brain better? There are 3 keys to cultivating better thinking, and it is a cultivation job. We have to learn to expand our knowledge. There's no magic pill for that. You just have to work at it. You're here tonight. That shows that you're willing to expand your knowledge. You're taking advantage of a local professional society event. Second key is improving your knowledge structure. And there is a magic pill for that. And then there's the hard way. And you really have to kind of use both of them. The magic pill way is to listen to certain types of music. And Beethoven's 9th Symphony supposedly is capable of increasing your IQ by about 10-15 points. The Indian devotional, what?
Over and over again, it multiplies by 15% each time?
Well, 15 points, 15 points.
Is there a law of diminishing returns?
Plus the louder it is.
If
The louder it is, the better it is?
If you keep adding more knowledge, then it has to be restructured and restructured. So there's probably an asymptotic approach somewhere there.
Do we get definitions on them big words?
Yes, you do. No, you have to come back next week and there'll be a drawing for who got them right.
What does Madonna do?
What?
What does Madonna do? Negative 15%?
Don't make fun of Madonna. She's the materials girl. That's my theme song.
Country western.
In India, they have a tradition of yogic music that is specifically designed to increase your brain function efficiency. And there was actually a concert in Ada last Sunday, which was absolutely wonderful. And I woke up Monday morning and my IQ had increased by 10 points. If anybody wants the name of the singer, I'll pass it on. Okay, so that's the one thing, and I'm going to show you shortly the not so easy way of improving your knowledge structure. And then thirdly, you know, no matter how much you know, it's a big world out there, and so there are certain things that you can do to cultivate ways to overcome the limitations of your personal knowledge. And when we put together the full 4-day course, and those of you who've already participated in it will find these books familiar. How to Think Like Leonardo da Vinci. This is 7 chapters, 7 particular skills that you can cultivate. And if you already have this book and you haven't looked at it in a while, I highly suggest it, because it builds. The more times you look through it, it builds. And you know, who here believes that you're just born creative or not? Nobody? A couple people? Okay, you can improve your ability to come up with creative ideas by using certain exercises, and that's what this book is. Each chapter is pretty short and has good exercise to help you improve your creative thinking and then your critical thinking. For those of us who have ever made a mistake in our thinking and not gotten something right, there are a bunch of very short, again, chapters, 3 to 5 pages each, that cover all the common thinking errors that people make. So that's what's included in the book. And then the third major way to cultivate ways to overcome the limitations of your own personal knowledge is to learn to talk to other people and understand what they say. So communication skills. Okay, here's our restructuring exercise. What's that picture on the left? Metallurgists. Perlite. Any other answers? It's perlite. What kind of steel is it?
1040.
1080.
1080. Well, if it was annealed, it's 1080. If it was normalized, it might be 1040. But anyway, isn't it kind of interesting that the pattern there is so similar to that digital satellite image of the surface of Titan? I mean, if somebody showed you that picture of Titan and you were a metallurgist, could you be fooled into thinking that was perlite, maybe?
Or that Titan was made out of perlite?
So that's one of the key skills, is to learn to recognize patterns in vastly different scales of size, vastly different places. And it also kind of looks similar to the sand dunes, which the Titan picture is sand dunes, and the bottom picture is some sand dunes on Earth in Namibia. Okay? So, learn to restructure what you know. And why did it go backwards?
Pretty good. You want to go forward?
Thank you. Okay, so one of the other key things with engaging your brain is getting to know your brain and realize that your brain sometimes plays tricks on you. So who has never seen this image? Everybody seen it? Okay, so what do you see? Beautiful lady. Okay, anybody see the hag?
Yeah.
Do you have to look to see the hag?
Yes.
Who has to look to see the beautiful lady? Beautiful lady just pops right out at most of you, okay? Gordon thinks differently, he's unique, that's good. Okay, who can see both at once? At once, exactly at once. Not flipping back and forth real fast, you can see both at once. 4 or 5 people claim they can. All right, well, you're superhumans, you're ubermenschs. Our brains are wired to see patterns, and we see the beautiful lady because we see her eyelashes and the feather and her fancy hairdo, and we see the hag with her ugly toothless mouth and her big nose and all that stuff. And most people do find it difficult to see both at once, or even to switch back and forth readily until they've studied the picture for some time. So there are a lot of other ways that we can learn to see the limitations of how our brain works. So it's a lot of fun, and at this point I am going to, with that bit of a tease, turn this program over to Chris McCarty and Brian, who are going to talk about measurement and metrics. And the key that we thought that we would think about and address is how we decide what to measure.
Thank you.